So this is a song. It has a chorus, and it's a true story. Burns wrote the words to this in 1780. The story concerns a young man who was called James MacPherson. James MacPherson was born as the result of a drunken liaison between his father, who was a tacksman, he was a small nobility, if you like, clan nobility, and a tinker woman, a travelling woman, and she was beautiful. And they produced this wee baby boy who was taken to, the baby was born in Banff, which is about 40 miles down the road here. And it was taken, little boy James, was taken to Kincraig, south of Abbeymoor, and brought up by his tacksman father. And then his tacksman father died when he was about, I don't know how old he was, but he was a child. And he went back to his mother. So he went from riches to rags. And that's a very difficult dichotomy, that is, going from riches to rags. It's a tough, tough thing. And so he spent his time with his mother playing a fiddle, because he was a very good fiddler, and he played the fiddle and he lived the life of a travelling person. In those days they were called Egyptians, and it was an offence to be an Egyptian. So if you did anything wrong as an Egyptian, you got a charge sheet and you could be hanged for being an Egyptian. That's the truth. So he lived to the tender age of 25, and he must have been quite a character, because he took it upon himself to do some kind of social justice rearrangement bits, and he did a kind of Robin Hood. And he came up here, he came to Elgin, and he came to Forres, and he did a bit of social redistribution, which meant stealing cattle and giving it to people that didn't have any cattle, basically. He was caught in Keith. A woman was sitting in her bedroom above he had a band of followers, and the woman was sitting in her bedroom window, and she had a blanket, and she knew people were coming for him, so she threw the blanket on top of him, which meant his sword couldn't be mobilised. So he was caught. And he was taken to Banff, to the Tolbooth in Banff. And he was sentenced to be hanged, and you see his charge sheet. His charge sheet is he's going to be hanged for being a vagabond and an Egyptian. And he wrote this tune the night before he was hanged. It's called it's a beautiful Scots tune. And we're going to sing the tune. And then he was hanged the next day, and this is the story of the hanging. His mother, who must have been an amazing woman, got herself to Turret, and she got in amongst the magistrates, and she managed to get him a reprieve. Yeah. And it was coming over the brig of Banff, between Banff and Macduff. And the people that were the people that were dispensing the justice put the Banff clock back 15 minutes. Or was it forward? I can't mind. Anyway, forward. Put it forward 15 minutes. And he was hanged just before the reprieve got to him. True story. Burns was extremely into social justice. It is terrible. But, and this is the story of this man, he was a feisty creature, 25 years old when he was hanged. He was 25 years old, and he wrote this tune, and it's the story of the song. It's all the stories in the song. It's got a chorus. And if you want to check this story out, it contains a fiddle, and it contains a sword, the story does. And you can see the sword and the fiddle if you go to the MacPhersons Museum down in Newton Moor, because it's there. And if you go to the Dunkirk in Banff, well, it's in Macduff actually, because Banff and Macduff are connected by the Banff Brig, because the Banff Brig has a Devering underneath it. So, if you go to that church, you will find that in 1820, this is how many years, 120 years after, Burns wrote it in 1780, 1820, the villagers of Macduff built the Dunkirk. And there is no clock face facing Banff. out of respect for this man. Okay? So when I learnt the song when I was about 10, I never knew Burns had written the words. I never knew that. I really never knew that. I was thinking, what am I going to sing? I had to realize, Jesus, Burns wrote that. You know, you find that. Burns wrote that. Burns wrote that. Oh, did he? Because I never knew that. And I also sing it because it's a really feisty song. And it's got guts. And you can hear he's coming through with his fiddle. So it's a story, the words, I should really translate the words, but I think you'll follow them. But farewell, ye dungeons dark and deep, farewell, farewell to ye. MacPherson's time will not be long before below the gallows tree. So say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly gaed he. So he was really feisty. And he played a tune, and he danced it around below the gallows tree. Untie these bands from off of my hands and give to me my sword, for there's not a man in all Scotland that'll brave him at his word. There's some come here to see me hanged, and some to take my fiddle. But before I do part with her, I'll brack it through the middle. He took the fiddle into both of his hands and he broke it over a stone, saying, there's no one else's play on you when I am dead and gone. The reprieve was coming over the brig o' Banff to set MacPherson free, but they put the clock 4:15 and hanged him on the tree. Wow. So Burns wrote about this 80 years later. And we're still talking about it. Because social justice is something that we need to be concerned about. And we need people like Burns to talk to us about it and still teach us. I had the absolute honour and privilege, I was thinking about this song because I had it in my head 2 or 3 days. And I was thinking about this song as I was sitting watching some young people. I'm part of Growing Together on part here, and I'm a trustee, and I had the honour of going and listening to some of the work that the young people had done. And these are children who think they're going nowhere because there's nowhere to go. And this was a group of young children who had gone into a school for children who differently abled kids who couldn't access play equipment. They got all this god-awful place. You know, the actual playground was not good. And they couldn't get in the sandpit. The kids in the wheelchairs couldn't get in the sandpit. And they couldn't get swinging because the swings weren't right, whatever. And they needed 60,000 quid to sort it out. Well, these kids decided they were going to do it. So in they went. And we heard these children talk, these young people talk. These are kids who thought they were going nowhere. And there they were, actually being social advocates for other people. And for me, that's the spirit of Burns, because his music and his songs are all about that. Yeah. All about that. And that's what we're remembering tonight, is the spirit of social cohesion, of social connection, of justice, of fairness. And we don't need to think about what's going on in the world if we can just remember that. So we're going to sing it, and we're going to sing it with passion, and we're going to sing it with guts, and we're going to be MacPherson getting them razzled up, because this is his song. This is his tune. All right, so we're going for it. So I'm going to teach it to you. The chorus is, say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly gaed he. And he played a tune, and he danced it around Ablow, the gallows tree. We'll do that again. Say wantonly, say dauntingly, say wantonly gaed he. And he played a tune, and he danced it around Ablow, the gallows tree. I always get that mixed up. So it's say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly gaed he. Yes! Right. So we'll just keep singing it and I'll sing it. And I'll put it on YouTube, so if anybody wants to carry on singing this in the interest of social justice, they'll get it on YouTube. You've got the words, I'm telling a story, and the channel is called YouTube. It's called Madge Bray Traditional Futures, because we have to weave these ancient pieces of understanding into the future, because we've not needed them so much for a very long time. So, here I am, right. Farewell, ye dungeons dark and deep. Farewell, fareweel to thee. MacPherson's time will no be lang, Ablow the gallows tree. Say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly, gaed. And he played a tune and he danced it a roun, Ablow the gallows tree. Untie these bands frae off my hands, and gie to me my sword, for there's no a man in all Scotland but I'll brave him at his word. Say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly, gaed. And he played a tune and he danced it a roun, Ablow the gallows tree. There's some come here to see me hanged, and some to take my fiddle, but afore that I do part wi' her, I'll brack it through the middle. Say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly, gaed. And he played a tune and he danced it a roun, Ablow the gallows tree. He took the fiddle into both o' his hands and brak it o'er a steen. Say there's nae other hand shall play on thee till I am deed and gane. Say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly, gaed. And he played a tune and he danced it a roun, Ablow the gallows tree. Little did my mither think, first she cradled me, that I would turn a roving lad and die on the gallows tree. Say rantingly, say wantonly, say dauntingly, gaed. And he played a tune and he danced it a roun, Ablow the gallows tree. The reprieve was coming o'er the breg o' Banff to set MacPherson free, but they pet the clock 4:15 and hanged him on the tree. Say rantingly, say wantonly,